Hello everybody and welcome back to another 4 Stars Thursday. Hope everyone's doing well. This time for you I've got something from the Peak District, so it's good to get back again and get outside. In the UK it's been quite rainy lately, a bit muggy, and obviously time constraints trying to get outside, not the best, so I'm really happy to get out again and get an edit that we can do locally, so we'll see how that goes. But before I begin, remember if you want to get some free presets, check out the link below inside the description. Completely free. So the presets that I'm giving away have been made up from some of the 4 edit videos you've seen so far. So if you like some of the styles that you've seen there, grab hold of the presets, free to use, enjoy. And if you want to, send me a link of something you've used with the presets. I'd love to see it and great to see them used. So let's get on with the edit and see how we go. So as per usual, cropped and rotated. So the area that we've got today is Calke Abbey, which is in the south of Derbsyshire area, I believe. I'm probably going to get corrected in my geography again. So unfortunately with this picture, quite an overcast day, so we've got some blown out sky. Not too worried about that because I'll pull it back a bit in the edits, I hope. And we've also got a window missing, but you cannot unfortunately deal with these kind of things, you just have to take them. But I thought I really like the picture in terms of the autumn trees coming through on the right hand side here. We've got some foliage from evergreen trees still there. So yeah, so I'm hoping to see what we can do with this image and what we can pull back into it and how much fun we can have. So let's see how we go. So we'll start off, and as usual with all of these edits, I always go for something cool, something warm, something fun, something black and white. And that's just the way I like doing it. Like, it's very weird to try and get 4 edits, I suppose, out of a picture. And if anyone's been watching these for a while now, some have probably been good, some have probably been bad. But you kind of just have to go with it. And it's always interesting to see. It's a fun time to play. Like, I really do love playing with the edits and kind of like looking back and going, maybe I like that one rather than the one I expected. Like, sometimes I've done like a really cool picture, as in cool temperature, and the picture's been a lot more interesting than I thought. Like, I wouldn't have probably done it if I was trying to edit it for a normal picture. So it's been cool. So highlights. So where are I? So I'm going to pull the highlights down, but actually before I go too far, let's try and make use of the new masking tools in Lightroom. Make use of the tools we've got, and we can see that selected sky. We might get a little bit of banding on some of the foliage, but see how we go there. And so obviously the exposure. Now I know if I bring it down, there is a tiny bit of detail in the sky, but it's not worth me bringing it all the way down because I'm going to get that haloing effect. It looks horrible. So I just want to bring it down a little touch, just so that it's not going to be completely white. I might not bother doing that in the other images, we'll see how that goes. And then shadows, bring them out, and likewise whites. I'll actually just increase the whites a little bit. And clarity wise, we can play with the clarity so that we're going to get a bigger difference between the darks and the lights there. Once again, going high on that, that's going to bring out the halo in, so not too far on that. And I'm going to leave it there. So there's some detail in the clouds. It's not the best in the world, but I did not expect it to be. So looking, I've lost some shadows in this tree, and I really want to have that tree back. So let's lift those shadows up. Whites. Blacks. Blacks can come down just a touch. And I'm actually going to bring that temperature down a little bit more. Okay. Clarity. Do we go down? Do we go up? I have seen images like this on the internet, and it scares me. Where someone will take the clarity slider and bug it up. I mean, I suppose if that's what you like doing, that's what you like doing. Who am I to judge? I just don't prefer it myself. Vibrance, I'm going to take that down a little bit, and also we're going to play the curve. And actually, let's just touch the blues up in those shadows. We're going to add some warmth back into the highlights. Now I'm going to go back to our tone curve. Get the little S going. Don't want a heavy one, he says, as he makes a heavy S curve. Bring those shadows down a little bit. Images starting to come together. So saturation. These darker images. Get rid of the greens. Go a bit lighter. And saturation on those oranges. Yellows, I'm going to push more towards orange. Orange more towards yellow. Actually, leave it that way it is. Saturation. Get it there. Same with the reds. So overall, taking saturation of vibrance down a little bit, so saturation with the contrast. But then putting it back into the specific colours that I want. So I kind of want this tree to be seen. Everything else is a little washed out, including the house. Whether you can consider it a leading line of the branches into the house, it's probably open for anyone's kind of judgment. Blues. Be a bit weird to take the blues out after I've gone and put them in. And I'm not going to bother playing with the colour grading because we played with that a little bit on the tone curve. And corrections, should have got rid of them at the beginning. Okay, image number 1, as usual. Let me know in the comments. This is the before image. This is the after. Quite like that one. So as I say, I never know what I'm going to expect, what I'm going to get. Let's put profile corrections on first. I used to find with my D7200 profile corrections, they did a lot of difference. They sometimes, especially some of the bigger lenses, warped like anything. The Z6 with the 24-70, I haven't really noticed anything from profile corrections, hence why I usually forget it. It probably does something, but not too much. Okay. I'm going to make this into a very autumnal picture. Maybe. Let's see. I'm going to ignore the sky on this one. I'm not too worried about it. Contrast. No. Let's actually bring that down a little bit. Highlights. Bring them down. Shadows. Shadows and whites. And let's get some blacks in there. Let me just see. I don't want to get rid of that tree completely. So I'm just holding Alt down here, moving the slider. That's showing me where the blacks are clipping. And I want to have that detail in the tree because, you know, it's a nice contrast between the autumnal colours of the leaves. Still having an evergreen shot. Clarity just a touch. And aggressive curve time. Too aggressive curve time. Go into those blacks a little bit more and dip them right down. There we go. Okay, everything else. So saturation yellows, pushing yellows, oranges. Pushing them down a bit more stronger towards the reds. Let's get the saturation up on there. Okay, greens. I think I'm actually going to top them up, but they're going to go towards the yellow as well. And the luminance of those greens, I want to bring them out. Let's have like a nice green day. Colour grading, leaving this one. Let's have a look at that before and after. As usual, comments. Is it your favourite? Do you hate it? Do you think I'm doing something really horrible with every single photograph? I would love to know the feedback. Okay. Fun time. Now, this might not work. I quite like the orange one. Say orange one. The increased temperature one. So exposure. I'm going to bring the exposure down. I'm going to try and go and do something probably a bit crazy. So exposure is going down overall globally. Shadows. blacks. I want to try and create like a gothic image. Got a stately home, or an unstately home as they like to call it at Calke Abbey. And I am going to increase that clarity, but not so much that it goes too far. And I'm moaning about the clarity as well. I'm guilty of it. I have done it in past pictures. So if you search around for me on the internet, you will find pictures. And eventually, one day, I imagine one of these videos will come back to bite me in the ass, and someone will go, "Haha, you did that." And I will say, yes, I did. Because that's what I like doing at the time. And I'll probably look back at my photos and go, why did I do that? But who cares, right? Okay. So, I brought in a bit of that sky. I want to make it look a little bit overcast. And actually, let's add another linear gradient to that. No, maybe not too much. Do they stack? Maybe they don't stack. That's interesting. No, they do stack. Okay. There we go. Cool. So I just want to bring in that touch of... Basically, we've got a layered cloud effect, so I'm kind of artificially adding my own interest to the clouds, even though there's not too much there. Cheating, as usual. Vibrance, that's coming up. Apologies if you can hear any banging in the background. I have noisy neighbours, I believe. So trying to go for that gothic appeal still. Not a massively aggressive... Oh, it's fireworks. There's fireworks still going off. Great. And then the dog starts barking. Because animals don't like fireworks. And I don't know why people still bother with them. Okay. Just touching that up a little bit there. What am I trying to do? And this is me going completely off kilter, but I do like trying things. So I'm going to take a brush, and what we're going to try and do is take the dehaze, and I've not got the flow set too high, so this is for when I'm usually adding adjustments, but what I want to do is just, let's get the flow a little bit more, actually maybe get the size a bit bigger. Duplicate from here? Yes, we can. Okay. And let's add another brush. Dehaze still. Bring the flow down a little bit more, just that touch. Go for the distance. Not much, so I'm just trying to add this kind of fog effect. That's what I was going for. There's probably arguments for do this in Photoshop, the tools are much better, but I like using Lightroom. If I can do everything in one program, then I can. And there's a level as well where someone's going to be complaining about image manipulation. I do not mind. This is for fun only. I'm having fun. Okay, so I quite like that, but I think I've lost some of the vibrance in it, so let's just let's just put the saturation up a little bit, but not too much. Okay, so final thing, I wanted to put a bit of a post-crop in this. I want to go for like that kind of old antique picture. If you're wondering why I'm looking off to the left, it's because I've not got a preview on, and let's put a midpoint below. So I've got a preview on the other screen, so I can have a look at that in the smaller details. So I can look for the curve when it's small, if it looks bad, or if it looks good. Okay, let's have a look at that. So the before and the after. Now, as you can guess, that isn't how the image looked for me on the day. And that's just me. I like editing photos, and I like making them look interesting. Is it cheating? Perhaps. Is it fun? Definitely. Okay, black and white time. Yeah, clouds, not that great. Exposure down a little bit. Contrast, let's get that up. So we've lost our shadows. They can come back in. Not too much. Yeah, so we'll start clipping about there. That'll be good. Blacks can come up a bit. Whites. Bring it down a bit. So I'm just doing a simple edit on the black and white. I'm going to push the textures, dehaze. No, I'm not going to touch dehaze because we're actually going to get a little bit of haziness from our curve. There we go. Because I liked it last time, I think I'm not going to put in a select sky, but I'm going to put in the linear mask again, similar to our freestyle edit. Let's duplicate that. Move it up. There we go. Colour-wise, there's a lot of those oranges in there, and I really want to brighten them up. It looks good dark as well, but I think for me, I want to add a bit more brightness in the ground to be like a contrast to the sky. And the greens, similarly again, let's get those a bit lighter. And we can bring the oranges again. So for me, that's little dots of contrast all around the place. Because I can never leave black and white images black and white. I just like to have these little bits just to offset the colour. Pop our corrections done. And that's our black and white. So before and after. Okay, so that's the 4 edits for today. As usual, let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Did you like them? Did you hate them? What would you do differently? Is my art complete garbage, or do you love it? I'm happy to take any kind of comments, and I'm always good. Remember to get the free presets, and just let me know what you think. Send an image. Have a good time. Until next time, see you later.